Welcome everyone to another Singerreise video podcast. My name is Jonathan Silvia and I'm your host. Thanks for joining us. Believe it or not, it was still winter when we last looked at Winterreise, the masterwork that birthed this whole Singerreise project. But now that the tax season is over and done with, and my performing load is under control, we can dive right back in. Thus far, we've covered the first full set of songs. And if you want to see any of those songs, they're still available on the Singerreise YouTube channel. So make sure to check those out. But to review a little bit, Schubert's Winterreise was composed in 2 sets. Each set had 12 songs. So we've covered songs 1 through 12, took our intermission of 5 months, and now we're ready to start again with the second set. After all, what better time to sing about the winter than in the summer? When we last saw our wanderer, he had just woken up from a lovely dream about the spring. Then in song number 12, he faces an open, stormless sky and gets back on the road. The story continues from there into number 13, Die Post. While on the road, our wanderer hears the sound of a post horn. Now, a post horn is a simple little bugle that a mail carriage would use upon its arrival or departure from town. That way people knew when to pick up their mail. When the wanderer hears it, his heart jumps in reflex. It startles him, and so he tries to calm his heart down by talking to it, addressing it by name, as one does. This happens every couple of lines. It is the most characteristic and memorable parts of the text. Each stanza ends with the 2 words, mein Herz. Schubert takes this convention even further and doubles it, so that is mein Herz, mein Herz. The first couple of times that the wanderer says mein Herz, he does it as a question. For example, the first time, after his initial startle, the wanderer asks, "Why do you leap so high, mein Herz?" In the second stanza, he assures his heart that the postman doesn't carry any letters for him. So then he asks his heart, "Why are you acting this way?" In the third stanza, he acknowledges that his heart may have a point. The postman is coming from the town where his former Liebchen lived. So when he says mein Herz here, it's not as a question, but more an exclamation of agreement. The last time is another question, but I think at this point the wanderer has been overtaken by his heart's excitement. He asks, "Would you like to take a look back there and ask how things are going?" But this time I think it's more of a question of affirmation than it is of contradiction. This last line seems to put the wanderer and the heart back into a single being. Musically, this piece is fast, making it a great opener for the second set. Gets us going again with a bang. For the vocalist, this means that some of the text comes a little bit rapid fire, so you have to practice getting your consonants together quickly. It does repeat a lot though, and the first and second verses are identical musically, so it's not too difficult to learn. There are some high E's, but they're well placed and on the heroic, strident, show-offy side. This is where I prefer a more operatic baritone than your typical, flexible, lighter-voiced art song singer. An operatic singer would be able to reinforce those high E's. Also, a lower-voiced singer, like mine, a bass-baritone, would be able to make those E's sound a little more climatic. If they sound too easy, then the piece loses a little bit of its character. But that's the vocal line. The piano part is where the real action is. To convey the story and the setting, the piano part has at least a threefold objective. First, it needs to represent the sound of a carriage being pulled by horses. This is the 6/8 dotted rhythm that begins shortly before the singer starts. Second, there's the sound of the post horn itself, a melody line that resembles the call of a valveless bugle. It features an opening fourth and then goes through a triad, just like a bugle would. Third, it conveys the heart's response to hearing the post horn, a quick thump-thump that keeps pace with the horses. In between lines of text, it also gets its own melody line, almost an answer to all of the wanderer's questions. Does handling all of that sound difficult to you? Well, It is, monstrously so. But here's why. This and another piece by Schubert, Die Erlkönig, one of his most popular, are notoriously hard to play on the piano. Repeated notes, done quickly and in an uncomfortable chord configuration, can be murder on pianists' hands. My wife Sarah, however, wanted me to make special note that the pianos of Schubert's day were very much unlike the grand pianos that we have today. The action, that is the force required to push down a key and to get sound, was 1/3 to 1/5 as heavy as it is today. So today a pianist has to work about 4 times as hard just to get the piano to produce sound. In addition to that, Schubertian era pianos were far softer, so it didn't really matter how much you put into it. But if you just pound away at today's grand pianos, then you'll wind up covering the singer, especially when he's in the lower parts of his range. So you have to have just the right amount of controlled touch, and you have to know your piano really well. Obviously, this takes a lot of practice. Getting this piece to work for both singer and pianist was pretty tricky. It required a lot of coordination and a little compromise. But I think we got a really good result in the end. If you want to find out more about the life of a working opera singer, check out our website, Singerreise.com. There you'll find articles and resources all about singing. You can also follow us at facebook.com/Singerreise. Like the page, like, comment, and share on any of the posts in there. Really do that. It helps keep Singerreise coming up in people's timelines. You can also follow twitter.com/Singerreise. Follow the @Singerreise user handle there and retweet the things that come up. And you are presently watching the Singerreise YouTube channel. Make sure to check out all of our other videos and subscribe to the channel so that you get to know when a new video is released. Finally, there's patreon.com/Singerreise, where for just $1 or so every month, you can help support the making of all of these videos and articles. Patrons are also rewarded with patron exclusives like bonus videos or special music selections or whatever else I can come up with. And now, without any further delay, here is Die Post, number 13 in Schubert's Winterreise cycle. I hope you enjoy it, and thanks for watching. Von der Straße her ein Postton klingt. Was hart ist, dass es so hoch erspringt, mein Herz. Was hart ist, dass es so hoch erspringt, mein Herz, mein Herz. Die Post bringt keinen Brief für dich, was trägst du denn so wunderlich, mein Herz, mein Herz. Die Post bringt keinen Brief für dich, mein Herz, und trägst du denn so wunderlich, mein Herz, mein Herz. Nun ja, die Post kommt aus der Stadt, wo ich ein liebes Liebchen hat, mein Herz. Wo ich ein liebes Liebchen hat, mein Herz, mein Herz. Wirst wohl einmal hinübersehen und fragen, wie es dort abgeht, mein Herz, mein Herz. Wirst wohl einmal hinübersehen, mein Herz.